Hi everyone, welcome back to See the Stories. This is the signature segment of the 3-hour news show. And we are still here with Puty sharing her stories about maintaining work-life balance as a working mom. And as Alia mentioned before, it's getting more and more interesting.
Yeah, we should have Yasha Khat up here because we want to ask the role of dad.
Exactly, we need that perspective.
Mom, right? Yeah.
We need him actually, maybe
We'll ask him later.
the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about your illustration projects. I've been following her for several years and we met at an event. And I noticed that she does this really cute illustration.
Oh, yes.
On Instagram. And she have worked with so many amazing brands during her career. So tell us, how did you start? Were you always an illustrator since you were little, or?
You're a geologist, for God's sake. I mean,
yeah, but maybe it's her hobby. I don't know.
The illustration really speaks. It speaks out.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, actually, I've always loved drawing as a kid. But then my father, who worked at an energy company, he said like, would it pay the bill? So, and then I pursued a geology major. I graduated from geological engineering major and worked as a geologist for 5 years. But I got married, and then in 2016 I was pregnant, so I resigned and started to pursue doing freelance illustrator, like for a full-time freelancer.
Wow, so it's a shift.
Yeah, it's such a shift. But I started serving or accepting commission from home local business. Back then, there was no Canva or the other photo editor that makes things easier just like today. So they kind of need some logo or some illustration for like a homemade catering and stuff like that. So I started there. But then when my son was born, I couldn't do accepting commission again. So what I did was I more like told my stories through my social media as a social media content, mostly about personal stories about motherhood. There were a lot of things that I actually really different from what I expected before I was a mother. Like for example, I always perceive breastfeeding as something peaceful, calm.
It's a myth.
Yeah, like when you sit on the advertisement, the mom singing lullaby and,
well,
and things like that. In fact, for me, it's like a really painful experience.
Yeah.
And then I decided to draw it as a comic strip.
Oh my God,
and
so relatable.
I started to, I thought it was only me, but then a lot of people, a lot of mothers found it relatable, and I think Instagram back then was more like for photos that showed perfection, like you travel around the world and do the good things. So it was quite refreshing maybe for some audiences.
Yes.
And that's when some brands, usually brands related to motherhood, started to approach me to, can you do content, more honest content about motherhood
So
with
that
us?
actually opens the eyes of those brands as well. Don't be, giving us some false education about how peaceful that is to nurse. I mean, it's not as easy.
Not at all.
Yeah, but what is important about you, Puty, because you've done a lot of illustrations as well, and you are a part of Komik Persatuan Ibu-Ibu. You also. She's
also an author, and
she's an author. Yes, these are the books.
Here.
Yeah, tell us about the books.
This is the type of book that I like because it's nonfiction, right? It's based on facts, but she managed to put all of that information in such an entertaining way through her illustration, and like what we have discussed before, it's very relatable.
I just love to see the title. It's Me. Me stands for Mother Empowers.
Yes.
Tell us about the book.
And you don't romanticize motherhood, right?
Yes.
You never do it.
Look at it.
Actually, this one is quite new. It's more serious.
Yeah.
The one that I told you when my son was born, the experience that I turned into comics are more in this book, Komik Persatuan Ibu-Ibu. So it's more like how you cannot really.
Okay, let's show it to the camera. So this is the
Yeah.
cover. And let's see the inside. It's like reading a comic book.
Yeah, it's a comic book.
It's fun to read.
Yeah, so it's mostly about like sharing personal stories of motherhood, but since it was, I think most of the stories were relatable, so people kind of say that, oh yeah, I think every mother felt that. That's why it is called Persatuan Ibu-Ibu, because
This is so relatable. You have made plans, but then your child got a fever.
All canceled. This is also what she
Super.
spoke about, and you also, Crizia, when saying life-work balance. It's not like a 50-50, very balanced like this illustration here, but it is more of a juggling mom trying to manage everything with all she got, even though she almost fell or almost falls all the time, but she managed to stay and keep the balance there. So this is amazing.
Not an easy job, by the way, and you have to learn it through times, right? You cannot get it perfect the first time you try it. You have to like do trial and error and just accept the unperfectness of it.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so what do you think? I mean, of course, people can have different perspectives, but would you recommend, mothers to at least have activities, or even though it's not earning money, is it better to have like something to do outside of what you do at home, or do you have to, just focus on the kids? Because as we told, we spoke before during the break. I have a cousin. She always told me that, you don't have to focus on the kids. You can produce, kids with higher education, thriving, and all that. So what do you think?
I think that's what I also mentioned in the previous segment, like when I said that it's not only about earning money or like you see working and earning money. It's more about feeling needed and feeling impactful for the others more than of course it's really good to be the person who is responsible the most for your family, but then when we are needed by the others, we feel more accepted, acknowledged, and I think it also contributes to our personal well-being, which then also contributes to the whole family well-being. So I don't agree if people said that, oh, you have too many activities outside your family and it means that you're selfish, because it's because when we are happy, I think we give much better energy to the family, right?
Totally agree.
What is the borderline? For example, like, would you cancel all your schedules if your son or daughter have a cold and cough, for example? Or would you wait until she has fevers or something that is worse than that? I mean, sometimes it's the dilemma of a mom, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you have to, or is it a matter of just manage your panic situation there?
I think it really depends on the mom itself. Some mom like have this kind of lower threshold, like maybe I'm pretty chill about, oh yeah, you got a fever, but it's okay. Maybe let's see if you really need to go to the doctor. But I know that some moms cannot focus on her work or other activities when even only cough or flu. When
Me.
yeah. So I think there's no like the best practice. It's really back to the mom and again the support system, right? When you have someone that you trust that will take care of your children when they are sick, or you can like manage or maybe the father or your husband or your spouse can like take care of the situation, then maybe you will feel safe and comfortable to continue the activity.
Yep.
I think also sometimes when it comes to work, like for me, I do freelance job. Sometimes it also depends on like the importance of the event, maybe the money.
It's part of the consideration. It's the biggest consideration sometimes.
A last question for me. How important is the role of a husband? Or perhaps you can tell a little bit about your husband, how he supports your work.
I think it's really, really important because when we are talking about our personal goals, I always say, okay, we should focus on our goals. The first thing that we need to do when we are a family, we need to align with the family goals, right? We need to consolidate things so so our husband can also understand the reason why we want to work and why some things are really important for us, why some things are not. So it's really important for us to respect each other, but also to make our partner understand our situation and our reasons. And then after that, we can also what do you call it? Consolidate. So there are times that I really need to be supported, and I really need to you to be at home to take care of the kids. So it's really important for us. What I perceive sometimes, people still think that women want to work because they want to compete with the men. But I think that's not the case. When it's a family, I think we should see it more like a teamwork, right? We should see it as a teamwork, and when the women work, she will contribute to the family welfare, and then also when the men contribute, she will also make the wife or the mothers happy and empowered. Also bring the positive energy for the whole family, right?
We got a lot of takeaways today, but thank you for the great minds. And
it's like having our mini community. Our own mini community here.
Of ME. Mothers Empowered. This is really, really interesting, and hoping that this great idea can also be contagious to a lot of people. Because we know women out there, a lot of great women out there who maybe didn't get a chance to be impactful, and they have to start now.
Thank you so much, Puty, for being with us today and sharing your insights. Well, unfortunately, we have no more time. I still want to talk to you.
We do. Maybe after this, we'll continue.
After this, well, see, the stories will continue after the break, so please stay with us. Don't go anywhere.